Alrighty, welcome to part 2 of my Garage Inc. review. Today we're taking a look at the second disc, which is really just a compilation of everything they covered up until this point. I mean, we have stuff from Cliff Days all the way up until when they released this. So there's a big variety of songs on here. And honestly, same thing. I'm not really going to talk about the album itself. Because I mean the production is all over the place because they were produced at different eras by different people. It's a compilation. You can't really review a compilation, but all I can do is talk about the songs. So, and honestly, I guess the only thing I could say is I probably do like this disc better than the first one, but that's just because most of it is when Metallica was a little better, I'd say. But regardless, let's get into it. And to be honest, I'm not going to include the Motorhead stuff for two reasons. One, they were recorded live and they kind of sound like shit. And two, they don't do anything new with the songs. They're the exact same as the originals. So I honestly don't even know why they include it on here. But if you want to know my ranking anyway, these are how I'd put them in order on screen. So we're just going to skip them. We're just going to skip ahead right into number 12, which is going to be The Prince. This is really the only one I think is just kind of okay. Nothing really stands out for me on this song. I guess I do kind of like the chorus, like the see his face, see him smile, time to die. That's pretty cool, but yeah, there's a lot of pretty much all these songs are just really solid, really good covers. So it's really just depending on how often I listen to them. And The Prince is really never on. I already forgot what I was saying. Thank you. Goodness. But anyway, The Prince is really never in my line of sight to listen to. So up next we have Crash Course in Brain Surgery. And it starts with that nice chunky bass line, which surprisingly you can even hear the bass on this shit. Definitely a lot better than Justice for All. The riffs in it are pretty jammy. It's a pretty groovy song. Just not one I revisit all that often. And I guess that's the same thing with these next couple songs. Because next up is Bread Fan. And this one is, again, pretty solid. I'm just repeating myself a lot in this section because I have the exact same thoughts on all of them. They're decent, good jams, but I don't listen to them all that often. So, Bread Fan, pretty good song, but there's a lot better ones. Next up is going to be Helpless. Now, I thought it was pretty cool how they all play this during the Big Four show, along with Am I Evil. That was pretty neat. Can you guess what I'm going to say next? Say it with me. It's pretty decent, good riffs, just not one I'd listen to all that often. Yes, congratulations, muy bien. And this is really the last of these that I don't go back to all that often. Because, the top half I do listen to quite a bit because they're all pretty solid songs. And first up is going to be The Small Hours. I absolutely love how this song starts. This is I think this is like the first one of these covers, like the first riff I ever learned out of any of these songs because first of all, it's really easy, but I love how creepy it sounds and like the little tom fill that Lars does over and over again, and then when that riff kicks in, it's like super heavy. Small Hours, really really solid song. I really like this one. And next up is going to be Last Caress, Green Hell. Now, this is the other Misfits song I talked about, along with Die Die My Darling, where the lyrics are pretty fucked up, but I think that's really what makes it fun. The lyrics on this song are nothing compared to another song we're going to talk about pretty shortly. But, Last Caress, it's a fun, catchy song. You definitely don't forget it. And then the second half, Green Hell, is kind of forgettable, but it is pretty fast and pretty fun. But it's mostly because of Last Caress that it's this high up. Because, it's a really fun song. And next up is going to be the classic with Am I Evil. Now, I think everyone knows this song at this point. Metallica really fucking launched this song to the stratosphere for Diamond Head. And yeah, great intro. I love the little like that whole thing. That's pretty great. The main riff, simple but chunky, and then the whole like middle section where it's like the solo. I love the solo in this song too. Fantastic. Yeah, this is just one of those that everyone knows it, and it's still a really damn good song. And next up is pretty sure the sole reason that this album came with a parental advisory sticker. I mean, not the sole reason, there's other bad lyrics and fucks all throughout this album, but especially with this song, So What? My goodness, the shit that they're saying in this song actually can get me demonetized, even though I'm not even monetized to begin with, but it is that graphic. And so graphic that this is one of the ones that when I first heard it, I had to hear the original, just because I was like, okay, is this really how the song goes? And yes, the Anti-Nowhere League song is exactly like this. So not caring, so punk, that it's just, yeah. Let's just say the worst shit and see how we can get away with it. That's what this song is. And yeah, very, very solid song. But unfortunately, it was the beginning of the end. Because this is the song that just destroyed Papa Het. So, if you don't like his new voice, you can blame this song. Because he went way too hard on it. And next up is Stone Cold Crazy. A good old Queen song. That, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, how I really like how they make a lot of these songs their own. I think this is one of like the key highlights of that thing, because the verses are a lot heavier. They even extend the outro a little bit longer. I just think it's funny because back in the day, you know, when we'd hear a band cover a Metallica song that they changed anything in it, we're like, wow, why would they change it? But then you look at this song and like Lars plays nothing what Roger Taylor does, and you know that was acceptable because of course it would be. I just think it's bullshit, man. God, I hate myself from like 10 years ago so damn much. Oh shit, maybe not 10 years ago. I'm thinking like 13 years ago. Wow, I'm old. Holy shit. Anyway, the bronze medal is going to go to The Weight. Now, the riffs on this song are so goddamn chunky. And then the chorus, fucking, I love what Lars going ham on all that shit. And then the bridge where it's like double bass. This is a really heavy song. I really like it. I've always loved this song. This is one of the ones that we actually covered a few times back in the day. We really never touched any of these songs besides maybe a few, but The Weight was definitely one of them because we were all like, yeah, The Weight's a pretty damn good one. But once again, just like Disc 2, my top two picks are so damn close because I absolutely love both of them. But obviously one has to go on top of the other. And like Disc 1, I did not choose the popular one because next up is going to be Blitzkrieg. The other song with Cliff on it, always loved the fucking main riff. This is another one of the ones that I learned really early on because I always loved the main riff in this song. And yeah, as far as playing it especially, I think I like playing this one more than my number one pick, but that one's just too much fun. But yeah, Blitzkrieg, short, sweet, full of great riffs, full of cool-ass drum fills, and always one of my favorites. But, of course, my number one, again, probably not one you would expect it to be, but I don't know what it's about Killing Time, but maybe it's the riffs, it's the chorus, it's the the fucking fill that Lars does in the before the solo. It's catchy. It gets stuck in my head a lot. Love the intro, how it builds in. Another one where they completely crafted that intro because the original like is nothing like that. They really just added that in themselves. Yeah, I don't know. It just really works for me. I really like the riffs. It's really difficult for me to play, but I really like them. All around, it's a really fun song to play and listen to, so it's my favorite song off disc 2. And even comparing it to Astronomy, I do not know which one I'd prefer, but they're both really good. But anyway, that's enough about Garage Inc. We're done with covers, but what else have we not talked about yet? We talked about the studios, we talked about the covers, but what about live albums? Well, if you're going outside, be sure to put on some extra socks and mittens because it's really cold. I don't know how else to do this without going full on bondage, but I'll see you in a few days with that one. You know what it is already.